I have the immense privilege to serve as chair of the ICC UK Committee for Arbitration and ADR. So what do I love most about my role? The fact that the 46 members of the committee are so active and engaged. But more than that, the sense that the work that we do makes a real difference.
I've been involved in arbitration for 30 years. It's been at the forefront of my practice. I became involved in ICC arbitration from a very early stage. It's an international organisation. It's something that's very important to me. I obtained my first appointments as an arbitrator and as a chairman on ICC cases from a very early stage again. It was extraordinary to get appointed and to get that experience. But predominantly I've been counsel, Valeria, on cases for 30 years. Mostly ICC. I just became, sometimes you feel like you fall into something. You don't realise that you are suddenly a practitioner in a certain area of arbitration. So it was very important for me. And it's also important in the sense of I became more involved in the ICC organisation, the arbitration organisation, when I became a member of the ICC Arbitration ADR Committee. So that's at the cutting edge of developments, looking forward to what the issues are. I was on the task force for emergency arbitrators, the ICC UK Commission National Committee Task Force. So it's been just embedded in it, to be honest, for years. So it's something I really want to promote.
ICC for me symbolises the start of my career in international arbitration. So I moved to Paris in the year 2000 to join the Freshfields Arbitration Group in the City of Light, where I cut my arbitration teeth on a diet of diverse ICC cases. But my first 3 unforgettable ICC arbitrations involved a newspaper in Serbia, a bank suing the government of Kenya, and a beer dispute in Chile. What immediately struck me when doing these cases about the ICC was the vibrancy, talent, and diversity of the multinational counsel team at the ICC Secretariat, many of whom, I should say, have gone on to shape the world of international arbitration in various global leadership positions. And since leaving Paris myself, I've been very proud to remain a part of the ICC family over the last nearly quarter of a century, as the court has gone from strength to strength. And I've got no doubt that the ICC will continue to blaze a trail over the next 100 years.
So I think for me that's best answered by reference to my role and my years on the ICC Court as the UK's representative, because this was an immense privilege, because it gives anyone who's involved in that process first-hand sight of the diligence and the expertise of the ICC Secretariat and the ICC case teams around the world. It gives direct insight into the value and the rigour of the court's process of scrutiny. You also get to see the thoughtfulness of the court's decision-making, not just with regard to the issue at hand, but how that might impact on the quality, consistency and integrity of its own practices for wider purposes and for the years to come. And you also get to see, and I do think this is important, the sincerity of the ICC's efforts towards inclusivity and diversity in the very, very broadest of senses. So all of those experiences really reinforced for me the special value of ICC's unique system, and certainly it's allowed me to continue to advocate for ICC arbitration among a very, very wide group of stakeholders and end users.
There are a lot of things that I think ICC has got it right. Let's say, if I talk about arbitration, which is the area I practice, if I look into the practices of the Court of Arbitration at ICC and what they do, they bring tremendous value to the table. The very fact that they scrutinize the awards in a very meaningful way gives confidence to end users and to parties that their award is going to be properly enforced to the extent possible, of course. Also, I find that the ICC Court is very transparent about what it does, without compromising confidentiality, of course. They routinely speak about how they scrutinize these awards, what they expect. In fact, I participated in a conference in Abu Dhabi last year, and senior members of the court were brought out to speak about what they do and how people scrutinize, how members scrutinize these awards, which is very helpful.
Well, I choose to work with the ICC because it has such a long and distinguished history as being a leader in providing dispute resolution services. And what makes it different, I think, it comes out of that history. It's got the procedures in place, the court in place that you need to give clients and the lawyers who participate in proceedings confidence that they will get a fair and just hearing.
ICC has always innovated and helped dispute resolution. To be fully candid, that is something I take for granted. I never question this. But the ICC does so much more. For example, the ICC has made so much progress in making our practice better. Just to take a few examples, both the ICC Court and the ICC Institute have reached gender parity. And that is something we should all be so proud of, because our practice is nowhere close to that. The ICC's work through the ICC Disability and Inclusion Task Force, the ICC LGBTQIA+ Task Force, make sure that historically underrepresented groups that may always not be visible are given a chance to fully participate in dispute resolution. These are just some examples of things that make the ICC different.
I think as an organisation, the ICC probably has quite similar values to my firm, to Ernst & Young, with people and increasingly diversity and inclusion at the very heart of what we do and what we stand for as organisations. And of course, in the world of arbitration, the ICC's role really is paramount. It's able, in the context of the upcoming conference, to bring together global leaders in the field to discuss and debate the latest trends. And that's something that I'm personally really proud to be a part of.
In my view, what makes the ICC stand out as an institution is that it really engages and listens to the needs of its users. There is an endless drive and enthusiasm to improve the arbitral process. I know that when my committee has an idea or a concern, someone from the ICC leadership will listen. So happy 100th birthday to the ICC Court. I'm so pleased that London can be part of the celebrations and also part of transforming arbitration to meet the needs of the next 100 years.
I'm very proud to be involved in the ICC Commission and also in relation to the UK Committee. I think we are in a challenging time for arbitration, and it's very important that all of us work with institutions like the ICC to promote the purposes of the ICC, to promote fair solutions for dispute resolution.
Well, I've been involved with the ICC for many, many years now, and it started really just joining meetings as a relatively junior lawyer, and then it grew into various leadership roles. I currently sit on the ICC UK nominations committee and also as part of the wider arbitration committee. And so in terms of what we do to support the wider ADR community, I think probably the most important thing we've done on that particular committee is to promote diversity, which is a huge priority for the ICC, and then in particular for the ICC UK nominations committee, to make sure we're promoting diversity in terms of arbitrator appointments, to diversify the pool of really great candidates out there.
Well, I was lucky enough to be asked to be the ICC Court member under John Beachley, and having heard from others actually the value of that experience, I was so delighted to be able to get involved But beyond that, I've sat as arbitrator in any number of cases. I've been involved in many ICC training programs around the world. I was the ICC YAF member for the United Kingdom and Europe for many years in those kind of formative years of my practice development. So started to create that relationship with ICC from quite a young age. So I feel like I very much have grown up in a professional sense, within the ICC family, that my network has been made, broader and stronger by virtue of that connection. And I'm always very pleased to be asked to contribute to thoughts around, practices. Are they still serving the best needs of end users? Do we need to revisit our thinking on certain things? Getting involved in committees, being involved in selection processes when it comes to choosing arbitrators. There are so many and varied ways in which people can be involved in the ICC, and I would just strongly urge anyone who has the opportunity to do that to grasp it with both hands.